Hello and welcome back to Tekkit Creative. I'm here with my Enderman friends and Creeper friends, and I'm even featuring a new style for myself. Time to get back to this Skyship. I've got to work on the drives this time and the rooms that they'll be stored in. Let's get going. Hey there my friend, how you doing? So, let's get started. The first thing I've got to work on is the drives. There are 4 of them in total, 2 on either side of the engineering. I'll start off by building the framework. To make these drives work, I'm building an infinite EMC machine. Combine that to create dark matter, and then finally lava cells. Because of the amount that dark matter turns into lava cells, being enough to fuel half of the generators themselves, I'll also be putting a lot of it in the storage, but all this comes later. Now you see, the infinite EMC machine works on the basis of the condensers, so it's really a magic engine, to be totally honest. I can think of a few people that might like that. Okay, so all I'm putting in right now is distributors to help me make sure that the right amount of blaze rods goes back to the macerators. Got the redstone engines to pump out the rods and also the dark matter. In this case, you don't have to use dark matter for this engine. There will be a link in the description leading you to how to build this actual energy creator, so to speak. Infinite EMC machine. I call it the infinite energy though. I don't really use it for much else. I know I could have used the power flower, but I felt since this is Skyship, I should really try and keep it more in feel with a sciencey theme to it, even if it is powered by magic, and wouldn't work without the magic. Right, so I'm just measuring out the frameworks of the room now, and I'm coming back and building the chamber that this EMC machine will be inside. Now, at the moment I'm not quite getting the right size. I'm trying to measure it out, but eventually I'm going to create a sphere around the drive itself. Well, really the sphere is part of the drive. I'm calling it a sphere. A cylinder. I apologise. Not quite right, I don't think yet. Got me measuring it out. And there we are, finally got the circle in place. See? Managed to get this shape just right. Now, unfortunately with me removing those, it doesn't look like a circle, so I'll put them back for now, just so I don't confuse my own head. But they will be removed once the cylinder is complete. I'm just stretching it out so it encroaches the entire engine or drive or whatever you want to call it. By the way, I have no idea if you can hear the music I'm listening to. It's by Daniel Yont, someone who does music for the Ogscast. If you can hear it, I'm very glad then that this music is actually with no lease, so you can use it in all your videos if you wanted to. As long as you bought it off iTunes, which is what I've done. Okay, so I'm beginning now to stretch the circle out to make a little bit of a wider area before it closes up, which is where the sphere on the front will be. Well, there's a sphere on the front and back, half spheres. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm doing at the moment because I'm not all that good at creating circular shapes in Minecraft. There are no circles in Minecraft. Well, I'm slowly figuring out how to create the wider section. which in the end I purely do by just expanding the original. Now I close it up again. Now this won't be the final design, although I complete it right now. I do go back and lengthen the middle section by 2 blocks on either side. So I've got a wide section, then it shrinks in, goes wide again, and then fully shrinks. So at the moment, all you're really seeing is how the very front of the drive is going to look, and the back. And there you go, you can see where I've stretched it out. Well, behind me selecting the items I need. Now just to add an effect to it, I'm putting some lights on. So that when the drive is actually running, there is a light lighting it up. Well, loads of lights lighting it up. Especially since the room it's going to be in is going to be very dark. There will be no lights to its actual room itself. The only thing that will light this room up will be the lamps on this drive. After all, this will be a room that you, standardly in the game, will not actually have to come into, unless you're trying to defend it because someone's trying to destroy it. But then it'll be hard to destroy since I'm going to add something to the room later. Now at the moment I've only put these lamps on the side, but eventually I'll put them on the top and the bottom as well. Oops. And also, the drive isn't going to be black. It's going to be white. Can any of you guess right now how I'm going to make it white though? With something that made this take a very, very long time. And there we are. I add white wall panels to it to change its colour. Just adding the finishing touches. I love how the lighting effect wasn't quite working on the panels. I believe in the latest update of Tekkit though, they work properly now. I'm just checking over to make sure all the panels are in place. And there we have it. Lit up and done. Now eventually these will only be lit up when the power has been turned on in engineering for the drives. Now you can see all 4 drives are in place. All of them exactly the same. Next up, building the walls. So let's show you the framework being built, just so you can get an idea of how I did it. I just measured it up and lined it up with certain areas. Now here, I was struggling to make sure it wasn't too close to the front of the drive. So I stretched it a little bit. And in the end, I then stretched it another 2. Now at the back here, it actually gets very close to the back of the drive, to the point where once I put the pipes in, I have to cut out the back, one of the back walls. Not so much cut it out, should I say. I remove a line of the blocks and put them out slightly. Here we are, I stretch it out. It was when I went over there which I decided to actually stretch it. Just checking that everything looks comfortable to me. Raised it one more because it wasn't in line with the pipe on the top of the drive. And up I go again. Yeah, framework's in place. Then I went on to sort out the macerators and the drives. putting blaze rods in the room, and dark matter into the front condensers. Top condenser obviously having a blaze rod itself. All of them done the same, and all of them have 8 overclockers in them to get them to the max speed. I think 8's the most you can do it. Now, I messed up there, and I will notice it as I'm leaving, because I've got 3 dark matter on my hotbar. Watch me think about it. Oh no, I messed up. I knew which one I messed up on as well, which was the funnier part. Head over to the final 2 drives. Now you can see how dark it is in there without them being lit up, can't you? Each macerator only has 16 in it. Dark matter there. And another blaze rod. You can see how on the Infinite EMC machine, the blaze rod is pumped up over the top back to the macerators. Break my way into this one. And it's the same repeated pattern. Isn't it lovely? They also all have weld anchors in them, so they'll all permanently work even when I'm not online. Now I'm just deciding how I'm going to put the pipes in. I was thinking about going out the top initially, but changed my mind on that. Instead, I chose to go out the front. Just because I can. Now, once I was out the front, I started trying to extend it, but then realising I'm too close to the wall. This is where I had to cut out part of the wall. Slowly working my way up, till I was in line with the drive above. And I set that one up so it could go in. And then, pipes along the side to head out. Now I'm inside the top one, bringing the pipe in. I've got to line this up. Putting the gold ones in just because I know they're going to have to be quicker, but eventually I move those golds a bit further back and just pray that they don't get too muddled up once a lot of dark matter is coming out. Yeah, I'm covering up the pipes on the outsides, and I'll bring the pipes out. I'm using gold here again, but I'm unsure whether I really want to keep him there. Come back to the centre where the actual engine is, or the generators. Bring the pipe back. This is also where I'm going to have to measure it out, so that not all the dark matter is going straight into the final 2 condensers, which create the lava cells. So I just use an iron pipe to help make sure none of the lava cells go back. Oops. At the moment I'm just measuring out, trying to figure out where I'm going to do all the separating. Yep, take out the gold pipes and just bring them along and down. I take out distributors there because I realise I'm going to have to try and measure it up again in a bit anyway. The pipe's in, I then figure out how I'm going to distribute it. Now I do it a 1:8 ratio. So 1 dark matter becomes lava cells, but the other 8 go to be stored. This way I don't have to have the drives on to be powering the generators. Now I use gold pipes here just because I'm going to need to get to the storage a bit quicker. They will have slowed down by this point, obviously. Now I'm just going to put the lava cells in either side. And I'll set this up 1 to 8. By doing this, I make sure that there's plenty being stored. Though I may in later times reduce that if I find that I need to be sending more dark matter to be condensed. Probably won't need to, since it does make 12 stacks. One dark matter makes 12 stacks of lava cells. Right, so I'm just adding in the cyan cable, which is being used because all the lamps on the engines and drives are cyan. So it's a good way for me to keep it separated. You gotta keep them separated. What? And I head in to put the wire in. I'll complete this up and send the wire out the outside. All this will have to be covered over eventually. But at this point, I'm not really sure. Oops, game bugged out for me there, and I ended up, for some reason, although I was in creative mode, running out of cyan wire. I'm just heading all the way down to the bottom so it can get to the other drive. And then I head over to the first one. The wire being headed over to the edges. I have to connect them up to the main bundler cable and cover it over. Back to the opposite side, and once again, bundled. Now see, at this point I'm still unsure of how I'm going to cover them up, but I go back and just check to make sure they're all going to work once I switch it on. So I've got to grab the lever, whatever you want to call it. Head up, and I've already got it connected up to this monitor, so I'll just switch it. They're not turning on. Head around the back and discover I haven't put in enough redstone wire. But once I've done it after that, it works. And here you are, they're all on. I just go inside to check on them, and look at that. It's all running perfectly fine. So there we have it. Next time we'll be building the storage rooms. Also a sorting facility for all that storage. It'll be just above the engineering. And we'll be putting in a storage containment area for the dark matter, which will probably be upgraded to red matter as it goes into these rooms. So, ciao for now, my friends. Till next time.